If you want to get away with murder in the United States, become a prison guard. Larry Eugene Price was born in Fort Smith, Arkansas in 1970. He attended Howard Elementary, Darby Junior High, and Northside High School. According to those who knew him best, he loved making and seeing others laugh. He also loved fishing and cooking and was a good dancer. But Mr. Price committed the ultimate crime in the United States. He had a mental illness, and he was poor. In the Incarcerated States of America, there can be only one solution to this problem. Mr. Price was 50 years old and stood 6'2" and around 200 pounds. He had begun suffering from schizophrenia as a teenager and was measured to have an IQ of only 55. The local police knew that he had the mind of a child, but when he pointed his finger like a gun and cursed at one of them, he was immediately arrested and taken straight to jail. Charged with terroristic threatening, he was held on a $1,000 bond. Mr. Price, not having the $100 it would take to bond out, was at the mercy of the Sebastian County Detention Center. As often happens in jails and prisons in America, Mr. Price's medications to treat his schizophrenia were stopped. After all, why should the accused get medical treatment when you can save the taxpayers a few dollars? Most state-run mental health facilities in this country were shut down in the 1970s and 80s because of the deficient care the mentally ill were receiving, but nothing was created to replace them. And American health care is based on the profit principle. And when you can't pay, you go away. To here. This is the filthy cell where they threw this mentally ill man before stopping his antipsychotic medications. Kept in solitary confinement and almost complete isolation, Mr. Price started to deteriorate, and his weight started to drop. His family was not allowed to see him. A private company had contracted to provide medical services to the prisoners, but the less they spend on the inmates, the more they get to keep for themselves, and Mr. Price received no changes in care as he wasted away in his dark little cell. The guards and nurse would document that he was doing just fine, continuing that documentation as he lay on his cell floor dying, and even, amazingly, after his death, continuing to say for several more hours that they had checked on him and he was okay. No one was held responsible for his death, much less charged with any crime, because in the U.S. conviction machine, not everyone is seen as worthy of life, and justice is no longer an option. Mr. Price will be missed and remembered by his daughter Brittany, his mother Nikki, his sister LaDonna, and his brother Rodney, and by all of us who believe that every human life has value.